All right, it's that time of year again. Craziness in the Kennel going down Saturday. The first chance to take a look at the squad tasked with following up the greatest season in program history. To break it all down for us, we are joined by the real Rem VP, Rem Backamis. Thanks for hanging out with us. How you been?
I've been great. Thank you for having me.
I got to ask, because we never get to experience something like this, but to take the court, here you are, last year, craziness in the Kennel amongst all the fans. What's that feeling like?
That's a really cool feeling. That was new, putting us up in the stands, but coming down with the fog, getting to go out there with your team for the first time is always cool. The slow-mo blown kiss. I hope somebody does that tomorrow.
What's it like when you guys get a chance to kind of get in front of the fans for the first time and kind of put everything on display? Like, what can we take from that experience, just from our standpoint?
It's a lot of fun to get to perform in front of the fans, you know, and these guys, since the year's been over, probably got like a 2-week break, and then they were back at it every day, going against each other. So it's nice to get to do it on a higher platform, and you know, obviously the community is great. So for the fans who can't go to games during the season, it's fun to get to perform in front of them.
What do you think about this group? In some ways, kind of similar to what we saw last year, in that a very different collection of talent. Not the experience that we had a year ago with all the transfers, but it certainly seems like there's a lot of talent. What do you think about this group?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of unknowns, I think, just from an outsider's perspective for the first time. But I also have really high expectations for them. You know, I don't think we should expect anything less than what we did last year, and above and beyond that in the national championship. I have really high hopes and high expectations for that whole group.
If there's one guy to kind of keep a close eye on tomorrow, especially amongst the freshmen, guys that redshirted, maybe a guy like Rui, who we saw glimpses of last year, who would you be watching?
I mean, I'm going to be watching Jack Beach, because that's my guy. But, you know, I think Zach Norvell, there's been a lot of talk over the last year and year before that. With him redshirting, I think he improved a ton. He was in the gym as much as anybody. So I think he's excited to get to go out there on the court, and you got a little snippet of it in the exhibition game last year, but he can really fill it up. So I'm excited to see Zach.
Of the guys that were on the floor last year that contributed, who do you think takes the biggest step this year?
I would like to say Silas and Perk, both of them, just because they've been through the ringer, they've been through it all, and you know, they've put in the work and they put in the time to where it's their turn to kind of step up and be the guys. So I think they're going to have great years, and I think they both deserve to perform really well. What
can fans, if we're kind of reading between the lines, and if we want to discover more about this team, it's hard in a scrimmage atmosphere like this where everybody's getting a chance to play and you're not necessarily seeing your starting five, but what can we gather from kind of taking a closer look at Craziness in the Kennel and the scrimmage and what the guys do when they're on display?
I mean, that's the only time where Coach Few can play 10 guys at a time, which he loves, because like last year we were so deep, he would have loved to play, you know, more guys, more minutes. But to give everybody an opportunity, I think, is great, because you get to see how they do in a kind of high pressure situation compared to a practice. And I think the coaches like it because they get to see all 10 guys on the court at once for the first time. And you know how Coach Few is, and he gives guys a chance up until about midway through the year when he kind of solidifies his roles and lineups and all that. So this is kind of the first step for them aside from practice.
Bit of a tease for us, because we get all excited, we get to see you guys play, and then it's over a month until the season actually starts, and we really get to see you at full strength. What's the next month like, and how much does Craziness kind of play into it kind of moving forward? You talked about what the coaches see and kind of evaluating the talent and seeing where everybody's at and what you guys need to work on.
Yeah, it gives the coaches film, which they love film, you know, and seeing if guys can perform under the lights. And for the next month, the guys are going to take the film and they're going to apply it to their game, and you'll see, you know, their practice tomorrow or Sunday or Monday. They're going to be working on their weaknesses, what they need to fix for the game in the next month. So, you know, I think guys love to have a little film if they play well, but it's not necessarily friendly if it doesn't go well for them.
Your favorite Craziness in the Kennel memory?
Favorite Craziness in the Kennel? I think probably my first one. It was such a crazy feeling to come out of the tunnel, and you know, my heart was just pounding, and you know, just the fans, and that's your first real taste of what the Kennel can be and what it's like. So I would say my first one is the most memorable.
And tomorrow they're unveiling the Final Four banner.
Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to seeing that?
That should be a really exciting moment for everybody who was involved last year and for all the fans. I just kind of get to see the hard work and kind of put the final stamp on last season and roll things into the new year.
Well, congratulations on being part of that.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and I look forward to catching up again soon.
Thanks for having me.